Earlier this week, Financial Services Minister Nigel Feetham told GBC the ROC had issued its first license in this industry and said it could be a new area of economic growth for the jurisdiction. ADI Predict Sheet has become FIFA's first official partner in the prediction market category ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The platform will allow fans to engage with football through interactive forecasting experiences, including predicting match results, player performances, and tournament outcomes. Mr. Feetham said the license was granted last week following an application submitted after his attendance at a major crypto conference in Hong Kong. He said prediction markets present significant international potential and described the approval process as a record time frame for Gibraltar, reflecting the need to act quickly to protect the ROC's economic interests. Prediction markets enable users to trade on the outcome of future events, ranging from sports to politics and economic trends. The government says appropriate safeguards will be in place to ensure transparency, fairness, and participant protection as the sector develops.
This blockchain already has its own prediction market. Already teamed with a cryptocurrency we talk about a lot on this channel, ZEBEC as well. So ADI. This is live streamed to the Patreon. All pre-records I live stream to the Patreon, where we do weekly open mic nights. We do weekly Symbolism Sundays, and we have our own private chat rooms where people talk about stuff. So definitely check out the Patreon, less than a cup of coffee, and you get live streams like this or pre-recordeds like this, live stream straight to the Patreon. And you guys on the regular channel, you'll get partial video, and the guys over on the Patreon will get the full video. So this ADI chain, I had to hunt for that news article. There are, or for that news clipping, there are almost no big news people talking about it on this side of the pond, which I can understand why that might be, because ADI chain is the chain of the royal family of Dubai. Okay, let's go ahead and share that on the screen right now. So you see here from this article here, which we've shared before here, Kenya's mobile money platform M-Pesa, one is the biggest mobile money platforms, like absolutely the biggest in the realm, in the world, is exploring blockchain integration in an initiative, backed by the UAE's royal family. So that's this ADI foundation, this ADI chain. The ADI Foundation is an Abu Dhabi-based organization behind the development of ADI chain, a blockchain network targeting institutions such as governments and sovereign entities. The foundation was founded by Cirrus International Holding, the digital arm of IHC, one of the UAE's largest conglomerates, chaired by the president's brother, and the majority owned by the Abu Dhabi royal family. ICH has over 500 billion in assets under management. Now, again, guys, if some of you can note that money doesn't care about which religion you are. It doesn't care about which party you are. It doesn't care about if you're China or whatever, like, because Elon's selling Teslas in China, right? So because I already had someone kind of make some post about the facet thing that I shared yesterday. It's up to you how you feel about different things. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just presenting you with information. But for me as an investor, I'm looking for every investment. And just like here with this Predict Street, you can see that the money doesn't care. They don't care. They have the Predict Street. And, they're working with the Gibraltar, the city, or I guess it's hard to say what Gibraltar is because it's this little like rock that's attached to Spain that England actually has control of, but it's not a part technically of Spain. It's actually a part of the United Kingdom. So, but yeah, so they gave ADI a license to do the prediction markets, but even more than that, ADI chain has its own stable coin behind it, right? More on that on the Patreon side when we get into the Patreon side. But I want to show you guys this here. Dirham-backed stablecoin DDSC launches on ADI chain, licensed by the UAE Central Bank. Obviously, it's going to be licensed by the UAE Central Bank because it's ran by the Dubai royal family, which controls the UAE Central Bank. So when ADI chain says it's going to work with governments, that's not hyperbole. That's not cap. It's literally ran by the Dubai royal family, i.e. the UAE Central Bank. It's one and the same, right? So that's why I think this coin has so much potential. And as we know, too, they're connected to ZEBEC. They did a spaces with ZEBEC, right? With ZEBEC and Facet. Definitely check out the video we did yesterday where we highlighted that. But here we have the structure behind this. It's actually going to be used for gas, right? So ADI, the utility token, is going to be used for gas with this dirham-backed coin. So ADI, the token, is actually going to get some benefit from whatever money flows through this stablecoin. Again, if it's stablecoin licensed by the UAE Central Bank, you can kind of assume pretty fairly that the UAE Central Bank is going to use this dirham-backed stablecoin. Okay, so because this is their blockchain. So every blockchain requires a gas token to function. For governments and institutions, again, they're not capping because they're going to be working with the governments and institutions. It's not hyperbole. Building compliant infrastructure, that token needs to deliver functions beyond processing transactions. ADI serves as the core utility token for MENAs. More on that later. Okay, this is another way they kind of, say that area of the region. Instead of saying Middle East, they say MENA. Okay, which I forget exactly what the letters stand for MENA. But it's that area of the world, kind of the Middle East, Mediterranean, like top half of Africa type of area. Okay. MENA's first institutional layer 2 ecosystem. The token processes all smart contract executions, DApp interactions, and value transfers across ADI chain and its layer 3 sovereign networks. Okay. Now, since Facet is really connected to ADI, it may be possible, and we'll have to confirm this in later videos, that Facet runs on top of ADI. Okay. But let's continue. It functions as the medium of exchange across the ecosystem, facilitating settlement between enterprises, developers, validators, and users, creating a unified settlement layer for network operations. And I think that straight unified settlement layer type of talk is Ripple talk, but more on that later. DDSC stablecoin operates on ADI's infrastructure, where ADI functions as the utility token powering on-chain transactions. When users transfer DDSC for payments, settlements, or cross-border remittances, ADI processes the underlying blockchain operations, i.e., they are the gas token for everything that happens on their ecosystem. Okay. So DDSC represents the first step of a larger infrastructure play. The roadmap moves through clear stages, prove the first model with the UAE's dirham, extend to other GCC currencies, connect to Africa via M-Pesa infrastructure. And remember, like we were saying with M-Pesa, and we'll read that again, where M-Pesa is like the largest neobank, already existing neobank. So this is why I'm so crazy bullish about this coin, and no one's talking about it, right? And when we brought it to you guys here first on the Patreon, you guys know we've been talking about ADI chain since like before like ZEBEC brought them on, right? Or around the time ZEBEC brought them on like months ago. So we've been talking about this for a while on the Patreon. You guys know that. And enable an interoperable settlement across the MENA, Africa, and Asia region, right? Huge, guys, there. Just so huge there. The goal of the network is a network of institution-backed regional stablecoins, all interoperable on the ADI chain, creating a compliant settlement infrastructure for emerging markets. ADI Foundation is building infrastructure to support multiple governments, launching regional stablecoins on the same compliance-ready settlement layer. And again, if we're talking multiple governments, we may be talking everybody in that MENA region, and this will include people that really want things to operate in a certain compliance, if that makes sense to you, right? So they're only going to want to work with people operating on a certain level of compliance. So that means they're probably only going to want to work with ADI because they have that level of compliance. Okay. I have to say that, you know, like that. So a year ago, the ADI Foundation announced its formation at the Abu Dhabi Finance Week. 12 months later, it returned to the same stage to announce that the mainnet launch was done there. Today, Dirham-backed stablecoin goes live on ADI chain, proving that regulated national stablecoins can operate on public blockchain infrastructure. Now, understand, World Liberty Financial is already over there. They're making use and of the VARA, where they have, they have more clarity than the U.S. right now. So they're taking full advantage of that. World Liberty Financial is, right. So this area is only going to grow and grow and grow in cryptocurrency and stablecoin use. And honestly, it just behooves the dollar too, because again, like once you translate these things, dollar to dirham, like this is just more liquidity for the dollar, because stable coins are so much easier to transact with than trying to convert dollars to, going to actually physically convert dollars to dirhams and dirhams back to dollars. Doing it via stable coins is going to be a very, very much cleaner route. Okay. So huge right there, right? And then we have a connection here with BNY. Together with Fin Street Limited and ADI Foundation, announced strategic collaboration to deliver digital asset infrastructure in the UAE. Okay. So BNY, which we know is connected to Ripple, right? Also connected to Metallicus, a global financial services company, together with Fin Street Limited and ADI Foundation, have announced a strategic collaboration that intends to offer regulated, scalable, institutional-grade digital asset custody anchored in Abu Dhabi global market. Fin Street Limited, a digital market infrastructure group and a subsidiary of IHC through Cirrus International Holdings. So we know that that's also, basically the royal family's holding company. And ADI Foundation, an Abu Dhabi-based sovereign grade blockchain infrastructure organization, will jointly support this initiative. Okay, aligned with Abu Dhabi's ambitions to shape the future of global finance, this milestone marks a significant step in the region's digital finance advancement by uniting BNY, the world's #1 custodian and first U.S. global systematically important bank, GSIB, to offer digital asset custody with the next generation infrastructure of Finstreet and ADI Foundation. This initiative seeks to localize and elevate custody services from Abu Dhabi. Okay. So basically, they're giving them higher levels of custody, which makes sense. Like if they're going to be, dealing with American companies, they're really going to need that higher level of custody to say, hey guys, do you have what you say that you have? Is this being custody in a manner that we can audit you and say that everything's there that we think is there? Well, yep, they're going to need that, right? So what that says to me is just more and more money is going to flow into that region, right? Which again is going to go directly through ADI chain because it's the royal family's chain. Okay. So huge there, huge news there. Again, we've connected these guys to ZEBEC. Definitely check them out in the spaces that they did with ZEBEC here. So definitely go review that spaces. It was a very good spaces here. But note that all of these companies interact together. Facet, ZEBEC, ADI, and Aleo. Okay. Aleo for privacy payments, right? And then you can bring Canton into the loop too there when you talk about privacy in that manner with USDCX, right? And you can even bring into the loop here talking about this. You can bring Open USD into the loop too. That open standard included, as we share this here, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, ADI Bank. So again, they are getting ready to gear up to have stablecoin, a lot of stablecoin traffic move through there, possibly even agentic AI traffic to move through there. So ADI, what it's sitting at right now, we in the Patreon got into this, I think sub $3. It's sitting at $5.97 now. And it had this huge wick up to almost $10. And I definitely think it's going to achieve that. And you kind of look at its tokenomics. I know the circulating supply is small, but I think it's going to take the same path as Solana took, where Solana went from about a 50 cents a coin to $200 a coin. It's around it's kind of double the supply of Solana. Solana's supply right now is around a little over 600 million. ADI's is 999 million plus, right? But circulating is under 100 mil. I think the same was kind of true for Solana, and everybody thought they were going to dump. And they did eventually, but it went to $100 before the whole FTX fiasco, and it dumped down to 9 and then pumped right back up to 200 here. So I'm going to talk over here to the patrons and why I think I gave you a lot of reasons here, but I'm going to talk to the patrons why I think even more this is very much destined to go over $100. Definitely come over to the Patreon if you want the full version of the video. Please, if you can, guys, please hype the video. And if you made it to the end, put ADI chain in the comments, and they'll let me know that you made it to the end there. Thank you guys so much, and I'm out. Peace.